Thank you for clicking on my video. I kind of have a lot to share in this video. Several different trail cam captures that have surfaced. I want to talk about these trail cams. It's because it's crazy. It really is. This is an old stealth cam, dated trail cam. It's one of the first generations of trail cams. Really, it's old. And I'll put that camera side by side with a newer, more high-end model. The newer high-end model gets beautiful videos of animals and things going on in the forest. And that one does too, just lower quality. But that thing picks up a lot of stuff that the other ones don't. And I can't make any heads or tails of why that is. But it just seems to be the case. And it's super interesting because other old school researchers before my time have talked about that. That old trail cams capture more than the new ones. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, a lot of stuff in this phenomenon doesn't seem to make much sense. But what I captured now, it's another strange thing, entity, moving through the trees, activating the camera, and I have evidence of things, something out in the woods trying to avoid my trail cams and even messing with my trail cams. And I use tie wire. I use multiple layers of tie wire to hold these in place. So without a wire cutter or a big heavy duty knife or pry bar or something, they're really hard to get off. It's almost impossible without wire cutters. And so I have evidence of something messing with my trail cams. And a lot of new anomalies we're going to get into in this video. Some pretty weird stuff. And I'm obviously, I've admitted to my viewers and on interviews that I've had to go full, basically on the side of paranormal in this subject. And I never wanted it to go that direction, but that's just what the evidence is showing me. That we're dealing with a being that is, it at times exists in the physical and at times exists much more like a spiritual, paranormal type entity. They kind of go back and forth. And that's especially apparent due to the fact that nobody has ever found where Sasquatch sleep. Where do they go in the pouring cold rain? So, I don't think they're just sitting out there in the rain, shivering underneath a shrub. And if they were, I feel people would have found their homes, their dens. So it really seems like they kind of step in and out of our plane of reality. Whatever that means, I don't know. And the whole shape-shifting thing that people have witnessed, that may be exactly what I've captured on this trail cam here today. I'm going to show you here in a minute. If I get anything worth sharing on my trail cams, you're going to see it. Because I have too much time, money, effort wrapped up into these trail cams. The trail cams themselves cost money. The batteries cost money. The SD cards cost money. All the fuel getting me in and out of there just to go check them. And so no matter what, I get anything abnormal on my trail cams, I'm going to put it on my channel. And so that's what we have here today. So I want to pull your attention towards the center of the screen where the arrow is. There's an elk there. Clear as day, that's an elk. And you can see how the fur of that elk absorbs the infrared from the night vision of the trail cam and reflects it back. Clear as day. There's another picture. So there's a little movement there. That's clearly an elk. It's looking at the camera. The fur is very bright. Now I'm going to take you to here's an elk in the same spot. Center, it's real blurry because there's a lot of movement there. But you can see that the elk fur is reflecting that light back to the camera. Then the elk jumps off to the right. And even way over there in the darkness, right here, you can still see the color of that elk's fur reflecting the light back to the camera. Now I'm going to bring you so pay attention to the center of the screen here. There's a blob, a distorted blob here. And as this elk walks into the shot, that big elk's head comes in and it turns on the camera. And pay attention to where that arrow is at. So the elk comes in, then that elk runs that way and bolts out of the shot. But here in this area, there's something going on. Boom, there's an eye. It almost looks like there's could be two eyes. Very wide apart eyes. But then all of a sudden there's two eyes there very close together. And for some reason, whatever this is not reflecting the infrared light at all. Then it bolts, boom, it jumps. And it's sort of in the shape of an elk. It's really hard to make out. But what I see here that is really weird is this log. This log is reflecting all that infrared light back. And the color and the shape of that log seems to be going right through this animal. Though it's faded and distorted, you can actually still see the outline of this log seemingly shining right through this animal. And those look like legs right here. And over here is sort of like a head. But for some reason, there's no infrared reflecting off of its fur. It's really strange. Then it goes there and same thing. You can see its outline, but there's no light coming back to us. And then it goes there. Even right there, you can still see the log. Yet the body of whatever this is here. And the light from the log is passing right through it. And then it goes... Oh, wait, wrong picture. Okay, now I'm going to bring it back. Boom, boom, boom. There it is. There it is. There it is. And then here it goes. Boom. Just makes no sense. I mean, I've captured a lot of footage of elk on night vision. And this thing, it's like see-through. It's like transparent. You can see the eyes. There it jumps. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. And I mean, they're right here. This is a blurry, really poor footage. But that elk, I mean, you can see it. Its body's there. Even when it jumps right there, there's its body. That's probably its butt as it's disappearing into the darkness. Now, compared to whatever this is, this thing is seemingly totally immune to the infrared. And I can see the shape of an elk there. And another thing I want to point out is elk and deer do not hang out together. And deer fur will reflect light just like elk fur will. Even though this is shaped like an elk or a deer, it doesn't seem to behave like any elk or deer I've ever got footage of. It's really strange, really weird. And even the fact that it was sitting right there in the center of the shot, damn near right in the beam of the camera's night vision, and it hadn't activated the camera until this elk wandered in. So this elk came in, turned on the camera. So there it is, the elk's turning on the camera, and this thing in the center of the shot was totally immune to the camera. But now that the camera's on, it's almost like this thing panics, starts realizing, and boom, I'm out of here. Boom, 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 and then it's gone. I don't know. It's weird. It doesn't make sense with what I'm seeing with the other elk. And I will have to point out that there was no deer on this camera at all throughout all the footage there. It was only elk in this area, and that's pretty common. Elk and deer do not hang out together. If there's a bunch of elk in an area, the deer go elsewhere. I've never had trail cam footage where elk and deer are just hanging out together. They're always separate from one another. But there's the elk in the exact same spot. Clearly it's an elk. That's what it looked like in the daytime. Now this right here, I mean, that's probably just water on the lens. But there's some kind of movement right there in the left corner. I don't know what that is. But something in this time period messes with the trail cam. Because as you can see, the trail cam moves. The trail cam is being wiggled or something. Something is happening with the trail cam. And I have, this has happened quite a few times. And then you can see when I show up, I'm there on the 27th. This must be when I checked the footage. And that date isn't accurate. That's just the date that it says. But yeah, this is just weird. Something's moving the camera, something's messing with it, and something's there in the corner making movement. And I assume that's just water on the lens or something, but I'm not sure. And there's the thing going backwards. And there it is going forward. I don't know. I don't know, people. It's weird. It's just another thing that I found that just doesn't make a lot of sense. So this video is pretty subtle. This is from Dead Canyon from long ago. This is one of the first trail cams I ever put up. And as you can see, something is messing with my trail cam. You can hear it. It sounds like, you know, almost like fingers or something or scraping against it. And I don't know what that weird light is over here to the right. I mean, it could just be the sun reflecting. I'm not sure. I've had this footage for a long time, and it was so vague, I never really shared it. And same thing. Something's messing with the trail cam. This weird shimmer of light coming off to the side. But what is really weird about this trail cam is when I came to check it, it had only been there for a couple of months. And I was brand new at trail cams at this time period. And when I came to check it, the batteries were completely dead. And so I just assumed, oh wow, trail cam batteries go dead really fast. But I've since learned that they don't. They last a long time. So it was just really weird. Something was clearly messing with it. And somehow the batteries just went dead abnormally quick. So this one's subtle as well, but it's the same thing. If you look at the bottom left corner here, there's something there, like an ear or a toe or who knows what it is. But then you click through, boom, something's messing with the camera. Camera goes back down, and then there's something here in the corner, you know, like a light or something. Something is there. There's the camera up, and there's that toe thing back in the bottom left. And to me, this is just evidence that there's something out in this forest that is very aware of my trail cam. And I've already illustrated this by the decapitated fish that was left at my trail cam and that harvested elk that was left at my trail cam. But what's interesting is see this light right here. That happened on the other trail cam. There was a weird light in the corner, And then the trail cam was messed with. So on this one, there's a weird light in the corner. And the trail cam just fully got pushed up or down or something. It was wiggled. Because there it goes back. And then there's that object in the corner again. It's interesting because my trail cams, like I said, are held on with tie wire. They're strong. You can't move them very easily. It takes a bit of force. And just getting them to move, you're damn near breaking the trail cam because I tie the tie wire that tight. So it takes a bit of force to get that camera to move that much. And clearly there's something out in these woods that seems to like to jiggle my trail cams. And this is under 5 arch. This area of a lot of weird activity. And the next trail cam captures something really weird right here in 5 arch. I think it might actually be from this exact camera, just from a different time period. Is it going? Mm-hmm. Oh. So if you look closely here, you can see that those ferns are moving. And this is probably right after dark or early morning. It's basically night, but there's a little bit of daylight out still. And the ferns are blowing in the wind. And it's triggering this trail cam. Now this trail cam is underneath the area that I call 5 arch. It's right by the braided trees. It's an area that I have a lot of focus on. It's an important area to me. Now, when I first checked this trail cam, the first 3 pictures, there's 1, 2, 3, they were totally blacked out. Like a total failure of the trail cam, if you will. And then, the next 3 pictures, you have to look close. Look where that arrow's at. There's something moving by that doesn't make a lot of sense. It moves, so it went from gray to nothing to boom, 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 and then it disappears. But that's the only movement. The ferns aren't moving at all. The only movement is this ghost-looking shimmer that's moving past the trail cam. I mean, it shouldn't be there. This is in the middle of the night. That's not a spider web. There's definitely no glare from any sun. It's really weird because this is the first shot of it. Then it goes there, then it goes there, and it's disappearing into the forest. And I put this trail cam right there because there's a game trail underneath it. And I was curious, what would be coming down the hill and would pass this trail cam. And here's the beginning. Total failure of the trail cam. Gray, nothing. This is what it says at 10:49 a.m. Like I said, the time and date on these are not accurate. And so then, here it is, a few minutes later, this thing passes by. This shimmer, this glimmer, whatever the hell it is. I mean, it's vague. It's definitely, inconclusive or whatever, but it's there and it shouldn't be there. Just doesn't make sense. Something like that moving through the forest in the middle of the night, activating my trail cam, and there is no movement in those ferns. They're as still can be. So the only thing activating this camera is that shimmer moving by. It reminds me of the white orb-like thing I captured a year ago, but just not as blatantly obvious. It's much more subtle, but it's something moving by, something triggering the trail cam. So this is a piece of trail cam footage I've had for a while, and been wanting to share it because it's kind of cool. it was out during hunting season, and I checked some trail cams and came across pretty cool shot. Got my heart rate up for a second. See, big hairy animal. I think it's pretty obvious it's a bear, but definitely got me excited. Big hairy ass, and then you can see the foot for just a second. The foot is actually what got me the most excited, because for a split second I thought it seemed humanoid, but it's not. I'm sure it's just a bear. But cool capture. Big hairy beast walking right in front of the trail cam.